Hello, and thanks for coming to another episode of the Contractor Grow Show. My name is Mark. I'm your host. And today I have Kort from Aquatic Pools and Landscape, Bullhead City. These guys may be the funnest guests that we've had on the podcast so far. Done a ton of research. These guys got a great company. Bo, thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Fantastic. So, man, maybe before we jump into all the fun stuff and the cool team and marketing and the strategy and different things you guys are doing, which is vast. Maybe just tell us a little bit about the history of the business, kind of how long you guys been around, and what you guys are up to these days.
Yeah, honestly, I've been a serial entrepreneur ever since I was a kid, never in contracting or anything like that. I had a bread company, bread distribution company, which I still own today, and then got into contracting. And when I was 30 years old, I'm 52 today, so about 22 years ago, my brother-in-law had hit me up and wanted to build a fiberglass pool in his backyard. So I helped him out with it. Ended up going into partnership with him 20 some years ago and bought him out probably about 10 years ago and scaled the company from doing about 1.8 a year to last year. I think we did 12 million. We do a little different from a lot of markets. Started with fiberglass pools and then evolved into doing shotcrete pools along with fiberglass, landscaping, outdoor kitchens, anything to do with the backyard. I went through 2008 and then we were just scrambling to do anything and everything we could to try and bring revenue into the company, which was a bad thing at the time. Anybody that went through the 2008 crunch as a contractor or an investor or anything, but actually a good thing at the same time. Good things come from bad times, right? I mean, separates mice from men. And so we figured it out. We did everything from garage floor epoxies to we do anything. We'll paint your house if you wanted to. But anyways, got through those times and started scaling from there. Did a lot of big custom projects. We built them for casinos, large lavish backyards. We'll do driveways. We do concrete. We do anything and everything. And we build everything in-house. 90% of our staff or of our construction crews are in-house. We do sub out certain aspects of the business, but we're big on culture. We've got a lot of big people that they're like family to us, and we're big on culture. And I really attribute our success to good people.
That's incredible, man. So you guys are doing $12 million. I mean, we took a look. You got a big team. What's the size of your team right now?
We're about 53, 55, somewhere around there on any given day. And those are all full-time employees. And then come the summer months, we'll probably pick up another 10 or 12 people.
Okay. Amazing. And then, I mean, what has been kind of the growth path? I mean, has it been steady? Have you guys had like a big surge of growth here the last few years? And we had COVID and stuff. I mean, what's it been like the last 5 years or so? Kind of steady growth, or has it been, kind of really
obviously
scaling?
COVID blew up. I mean, we were all scared to death. I think any business owner was scared to death whenever COVID first hurt to wonder, are we going to get shut down? How is it going to work out? We just hockey sticked. I mean, it just took off. We couldn't increase prices fast enough. Employees had other opportunities to make more money than come work for me on an hourly basis. So that's where culture really plays in and keeping people focused on, hey, this is today, but where's it going to be at in 1 year or in 2 years from now? So I had a lot of very loyal employees that stuck around, worked through the hard times. Probably didn't make as much money as what we should have during COVID, but we didn't hit the margins that we should because everything was just crazy going through those times, and we couldn't raise our prices fast enough. Took us a lot longer to build a pool than what it had in the past. But I would say for the most part, we've been very steady in the industry. And a lot of times people complain about, well, this is going on, on the political agenda, or they want to blame it on interest rates, or we just take the approach that every day is a Super Bowl. You just get out there and bust your ass, and we're going to figure it out. We're going to push for more sales. And if we need more revenue, we'll go find more revenue. My thing is I like to find good people and then satisfy enough revenue to come to the company to keep everybody busy. And then the profits will come at the end.
Oh man, I love it.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, COVID, shut down, certain businesses, really suffered, a business like pool installation thing. I mean, you guys are outdoors and people want to entertain at home and stuff. So, I mean, was that why things grew so well? Was it kind of a niche thing, or, I mean, it sounds like you guys take care of your team really well. I mean, what would you attribute the kind of hockey stick growth that you guys had during COVID?
Well, honestly, I think doing the right thing for a long period of time, we were prepared for it. I mean, as much as we could be. I feel that we're in a niche market, so a little bit's luck. We live in the tri-state area, so we're in Arizona. It's just on the outskirts of California, Nevada, where they all meet. And so we had an influx of people that, maybe they wanted to retire and get out of California, and they were planning on retiring in the next 3 to 5 years. Well, COVID kind of forced them into retirement, and so they pushed into our area. So we were able to maximize, the opportunity of taking a lot of retired people coming from the California market to come over to our area. So that helped out quite a bit. But we're prepared for it. I mean, we're always talking about trying to grow the company. I mean, we're in a small community, so to do 12 million in our community, we're probably one of the largest construction companies in the area. And we do a vast array of things. We do everything from outdoor kitchens to fireplaces to fire pits to landscaping to any type of pool, from a little cookie cutter pool to the most custom pool you've ever seen. We'll do.
I see. Okay. I mean, I saw you guys have got #1 pool building company in the tri-state area. I mean,
yeah.
You are in a small community there. I mean, what's it been like getting that award, and what's kind of been the process of that, of kind of winning that, that kind of status or that title?
Honestly, the biggest reward is sharing it with your team. Okay. Keeping the camaraderie up. Everybody thinks that the assumption is that it's all money. It's all getting out there and making money, but you got to be happy. You got to provide goals for people. I mean, it's not just wash, rinse, repeat. I mean, it's not that you can pay somebody whatever a huge sum of money and they'll dig a ditch, fill a ditch every day. You've got to have a means to an end. You got to have a scoreboard up there, not just my scoreboard being the bank account, but it's the scoreboard of the reward of everything. I like I said, I'm big on culture. I throw a nice big Christmas party for all my staff and their family and their kids every year. We provide an unbelievable experience, a work environment experience for our employees. And from a customer standpoint, we provide the most unbelievable pool buying experience. We are not allowed to sign a contract with somebody unless we take them out and take them around to backyards to go take a look at a backyard so they can touch it, feel it, smell it, see everything, and understand exactly what they're getting. We don't want any misunderstanding. I mean, you're not going to buy a car without test driving it, right? So why would you buy a pool without going out looking at one?
I love it.
Yeah.
So I noticed, man, that you guys do some kind of extracurricular stuff. I mean, it looks like, you personally, it looks like you guys are big into CrossFit. Looks like you guys, do some traveling stuff. We saw some photos from Greece, right, with you and maybe some, other folks, family or some other friends. I mean, when you're running a team that size and you've got a really successful business, and I mean, sometimes, contractors we talk to, I mean, they can just spend all of their time in the business, and it's easy just to be, knocking out, 12, 16-hour days. I'm sure you've had plenty of those. Yeah. But I mean, how do you balance kind of your family, and especially, I mean, I'm actually really curious about fitness, because that's something that sometimes really suffers and, people struggle with. I mean, how do you kind of prioritize things that aren't just the business when you've got, so much going on in the business?
Yeah, honestly, you got to prioritize it, but I hold myself accountable, and then I bring staff members on to hold myself accountable and hold them accountable at the same time. And then once you make that commitment, I think that's a big thing in business. Whether, every business to me is a lemonade stand. It comes back to customer service and taking care of your people. Do what you say you're going to do. And so if I'm showing up at my office every day and I have expectations of everybody, I can never let them down. I can never let them see me on point. My business partner in some other real estate investment, he goes, I look at Jay Leno whenever I was a young man and watched him every night. And every night he performed. And you can imagine, everybody has tough times in their life, right? Maybe they're in a fight with their wife. They had a death in their family. Their dog got ran over. They have a sick kid. But every night, you never let anybody know. You just go out there and you perform. And I look at myself going to work every day. I got to be that same Jay Leno mentality, man. I got to perform. I'm on stage. And so I never want to let my people see me ever be off. I've always got to be on. And so I think just holding yourself accountable at the same time, when you're a young business guy, when you make money, you got that assumption, like you don't want to share or show anybody that you're making anything or you've had some successes, because then they're just going to what? They're going to want a pay increase. They're going to want to feel like they want more money. I got past that when I was 30 years old. It was like, if you want more money, become more valuable to me. I mean, that's the way it is in my company. If you want to make more money, then you got to make it to where the company cannot live without you. So bring the value. And so I'll show you. I mean, I got to the point where I want to post my bank account right up on the wall. Anybody want to see what I got going on? There it is. I got nothing to hide. You want to see what the other guy next to you makes? Right there it is on the wall. There's no secrets in life. If you want more, you want to get more of what he's making, become more valuable. That guy's the most highest paid employee because he's the most valuable asset to this company. And so I think when you just kind of show people up your skirt, it is what it is. I kind of set you free, and I got nothing to hide. My guys got me on a tracker. I got them on trackers. They know where I'm at all times. I know where they're at all times because I got nothing to hide in life. Bring it on, man. I was in Greece for 2 weeks. Yeah. I didn't pay for it this week. I paid for it 30 years ago when I got my ass out of bed every morning at 4:00 and went and delivered the bread.
Yeah, right.
Get there, I'll show you the path. Everyone wants to be where it's at, but no one wants to necessarily take that path. And I'm not expecting everybody to, but if you do, I'll show you the way. And I got a lot of killers that work for me. And guess what? I'm still working today, not because I'm trying to make more money. I want to make them more value. I want to see them earn the wealth that I've been fortunate to earn in the business.
Man, I love it.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So you guys got a ton of great reviews, man. Got a lot of Facebook reviews, a lot of, positive Google reviews. We saw some reviews actually of some folks just really talking you guys up. These guys have done an amazing job. I think someone posted like a note or a letter that they had written to you, right?
Yeah.
Just telling what a great job you and the team has done. I'm just curious, for reviews and stuff, to build up a great review portfolio, this is just kind of a tactical question because, we talk with contractors who have been around for a long time and they just haven't ever gotten around to sort of getting reviews and getting reviewed out there. Do you guys have any kind of process of, going back to folks and saying, hey, if we did a good job, would you be willing to send us a review? Or is this all just, over time, these have just kind of poured in and you guys have been at it for a long time? Do you have a process of kind of getting reviews, whether they're positive or negative, and going back and asking people, hey, listen, would you give us an honest review? Or is this just what people have been doing as you guys have been, building? So
whether it's reviews or anything you're doing in your company, if you really want it to happen, you can make it happen, but you can never let off the throttle. You can never have one meeting and talk about asking for reviews. And the reason I know it is because I was subject to it. I was the guy that would say, hey, we need to get reviews. Everybody ask everyone to give reviews. And then if you leave the meeting and you expect everyone's going to go do that, they'll do it for a short time, but it's like eating with your left hand. It's hard. And so you have to act like you're getting up every morning and eating with your left hand. If you really want to make a change of something, you have to stay consistent. You have to talk about it all the time. And you got to let them know that it's a standard. Every day you have to do that. So I went 15 years going, damn, these guys won't get reviews. They won't get reviews. I'll get reviews. I'll talk about it. And then they won't get reviews. But you know what? I look back at myself. If they're not getting reviews, it's my fault. If anything happens within my company, you got to turn back and look at yourself because people only do what you allow them to do to you. And so if it's a staff member, if it's a sales member that I ask them to get reviews and they're not getting reviews, I don't get mad at them. I'm allowing them not to get reviews. So we press hard. We have things that 10, 15 years, as you get older, the crystal ball of life and business and contracting, that crystal ball should get clearer. You should understand and understand how to maneuver in your business. If it's not getting clearer, it's not the people around you. You can blame it on them all day long, but it's just an excuse. You got to look back at yourself. You're not crafting whatever you want the way that you want it to get the result that you're wanting. And so if you're not, you've always got to look back at yourself. So reviews, it is hard to do, but you have to demand it of your people. And then if you're not doing it, it's never one meeting. You know what I mean? It's one of those things you got to put it on the agenda for that repeated meeting that you have until it's just, then they're doing it like getting up and having breakfast, taking a shower every morning, going to the gym, whatever it is that you do on a reoccurring every day without being asked to do it. You can get anybody to do a review or anything like that, but you just have to set the standard that it has to happen. And I get it because I was on the other side where I would just complain that we're not getting reviews like we should. And then you're going to get some shitty ones too. You got to deal with it, man. You got to take it head on. You got to call. Those are the people that I'll call. I'll round everybody up in the room. Everyone's uncomfortable. Oh, we got a bad review. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? How are we going to combat it? I'll tell you how we're going to combat it. Everybody get in the room together. Let's pick up the phone and let's run at it full speed. And here's the thing. Half of them are valid. Some of them are just a crazy customer that we all get those and you got to deal with it. But at the same time, if you run at it full speed and rip the Band-Aid off, you'll handle it. And then you'll get 95% good reviews,
Oh, that's awesome.
and then people are going to read through it.
Awesome. So, man, you've been at this for a long time. You've got a successful company, right? by any standard, right? You've got a lot of team members that are really loyal. Let me ask you this. This is a question I haven't really asked as much to podcast guests because I really appreciate the forthrightness. Why do you keep going? What keeps you motivated? Right. I mean, we can kind of imagine, and we all got a sense of, where things are at, we can kind of infer things with, the size of the business and whatnot. I mean, you're doing some real estate investing, you've got things figured out, and it sounds like you have for a long time financially, right? At some level. And that's what I think some of our listeners are interested in. And I'm interested in as well. What keeps you motivated and keeps you wanting to get up every day and go, work with the team, deal with the stress, deal with the, long days, deal with the hassle, right? What keeps you going, man?
Honestly, when I was a young guy, I think it started with my mom and dad. I never wanted to let them down. Just, even like whether it was in sports or in school or keeping my truck clean or my room clean, I never wanted to let my parents down. And then it just kind of evolved into, you get married, you don't want to let your wife down. Then you have kids, you don't want to let your kids down. And then you have employees and you don't want to let your employees down. I just never want to let anybody down. And I've got a strong drive for money. I mean, from the time I was, a 12, 14-year-old kid riding around with my dad, I was like, how much money you make this year, Dad? What are you doing with it? How much is Bob, your best friend, making? And what's he doing with it? And I always had that entrepreneurial spirit. And then I always put myself under the gun. I mean, I think a true entrepreneur puts themselves in tough, awkward positions. And I think that I've always done that. I mean, aside from the pool company, I'm partners in 43 different companies. We have fabrication companies, motorsports, all kinds of different stuff. And it's like, what? And my wife's like, what are you doing? Like, what?
Oh my God.
But we love it. It's the chase all the time. I mean, we fly back and forth to Houston. A lot of our real estate investment and other companies and stuff are in the Houston market. But I've always just taken on more than you can chew. I mean, I've always tried and put 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, man. And I like doing it because I like people telling me, you can't do that. That's not going to work. You can't. And then I like to prove people wrong. Like, I'll show you, I'll put it together. I'll make it happen. And I've had failures too, that didn't play out. But to truly answer your question, I think I just put myself in tough positions to always challenge myself. I bought a cold plunge. Everyone was cold plunging. I see Rogan's talking about cold plunge, all these guys. So I bought a cold plunge in November of 23. I've never not got in my cold plunge in the morning when I'm home. If I'm on vacation, it gives me a break. This morning, I was in a cold plunge for 3 minutes at 42 degrees. And every day that I'm home since I bought one, I'm going to do it. But once I make a commitment to myself, I'm put myself under the gun and I tell myself I'm going to do something, or I tell everybody else I'm doing something. I don't care who's watching, I'm doing it. I got a thing with my employees that I give them a speech because I played basketball all through junior high and high school and college. And I give a speech about like touching the line. Everyone played sports at some point in time, or they're in PE and they had to run suicides. And so when you're running suicides and it's a line full of guys, half the guys are touching the line, half the guys aren't touching the line. The coach goes to take a piss while you guys are running suicides. They shortcut it or whatever. But I never didn't touch the line, man. I always touched the line. Didn't matter if the coach was watching, because I knew I'm only letting myself down. And so I tell, guys that work for me, I go, I'm not asking you to be the fastest to win the race. I'm just asking you to touch the line every day. And if you touch the line every day for a long period of time, good things will come. And I truly believe that. And it's happened in my life, man. My life just took off. I've got a badass life. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. And the freedom that it's allowed me by staying disciplined is, I wish it for everybody. Not everybody wants it. And I get it that not everyone's brain tweaks like mine does, but and sometimes I wish it didn't. Sometimes I wish I didn't have to get in that cold plunge every morning, but I made a commitment to myself. So I'm doing it,
Oh man. Awesome. Amazing. So You're married. You have a few kids. One. How many kids you have?
3 kids. I got 3 kids and 6 grandkids. So I met my wife. It's funny. I got a kid that works for me, and he's like patterning out his life. Okay, boss, I want the money. I want a wife. I want all these things. Funny. He even told me probably too much information. He's like, I want a virgin. I'm a virgin. I want to be a virgin. I'm going to find me I go, dude, I respect whatever you got going on. Best of luck. It's 2025, dude. But they each their own. But I go, I wanted to find the perfect girl that had never been married and this and that. I go, I met my wife at 22. She was 26, had 2 kids, and had been divorced twice. Well, now we've been together 28 years. We had 1 more kid together. I adopted the first 2 because they were only 4 and 7. Today, they're 37, 32, and 25. They all got badass partners. I got 6 grandkids, and my wife and my family and everything could not be more perfect. Everything has really worked out for me well. Believe me, whenever my assumption was not to find a woman that had been married twice with 2 kids. So, but sometimes shit plays out, and it was the best thing ever happened to me. We got mad appreciation for one another. I got good kids. They got good mates and amazing grandkids.
That is awesome, man. What an amazing success story, dude.
Yeah. Good.
I love it. Well, all right. I mean, we could talk for hours. I know you got a lot going on here, man. But if folks want to get in touch, if they want to, if they're looking for a pool or some outdoor landscaping work in your area, what's the best, in Bullhead City, Arizona, kind of the tri-state area there in Nevada, California, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Obviously, reaching out by phone is always easy. It's 928-704-7665. Or if you DM us on Instagram, it's Aquatic Pools and Landscape. But if you DM us on Instagram, we got a policy. If you call us or you DM us, we got 5 minutes to get back to you. So if you reach out to us and somebody didn't get back to you in 5 minutes, I'd be really surprised. It's our company policy, but we're good about getting back to people and following through. So like I said, 928-704-7665 or DM us on Instagram at Aquatic Pools and Landscape.
Amazing. And of course, the website is aquaticpoolsandlandscape.com.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Well, Bo, I mean, you got a lot going on, man. I feel honored to get on your schedule here, for you to be here and teach our listeners some great stuff. You've shared some great information, shared some of the numbers. Right, not everybody's willing to do that. Talked about the size of the team and actually the size, revenue of the business, a lot of your kind of personal motivations, your life history and the history of the business. So it's been great. We're going to take notes here, and this episode will be out here in the next few days. Thank you for being here, man. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Perfect. Yeah, no, definitely. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's been good.
All right, my man.